Okay, now I'm pumped. I haven't felt this excited by Marvel since Avengers Endgame, and damn does it feel great to be back. I was a big fan of the Netflix Daredevil series, and like many people, I was completely gutted when they canceled it. I will admit that not all the shows that Netflix put out for the superhero genre were equally as strong as Daredevil. Jessica Jones, it kind of fell off after season 1. Iron Fist was never really that great to begin with, and Luke Cage was just alright. But Daredevil, that show delivered. Now we have Daredevil officially in the MCU. I mean, technically we did see him in 2021's Spider-Man Far From Home, or No Way Home, but still, finally, he's got his own show. So how does Daredevil Born Again seem so far? Let's discuss. Firstly, it should be plainly obvious that this video is going to have spoilers for the first 2 episodes of this series. So if you did not see the series yet and you don't want shit spoiled for you, then walk away. Right from the very beginning, this show feels far more gritty and far closer to the Netflix series than anything the MCU has given us so far. And I think we can all agree that the first 15 minutes of this opening episode was brutal, jaw-dropping, but so awesome. It all just felt so dark, and I had anxiety the entire time during this scene because, like a fool, I was following some of the set videos and I saw some of the footage from this scene being filmed, so I knew that something bad was possibly going to happen. I was really hoping that maybe they would have changed course and we were all going to be thrown through a loop, but that didn't happen. We did end up losing a character, and damn, it was so devastating. But man, oh man, was it so nostalgic and just amazing. I had so much excitement seeing these 3 back on the screen together again. People used to complain about Foggy and Karen all the time in the original Netflix series, but I'm betting even those hateful naysayers were excited to see these 3 reunited together again. It's something that we never thought we were going to see. And as soon as things started going down, I was impressed by just how heavy, how much weight there was to this character getting shot. You know, it's Foggy. Foggy gets shot, and you know, that is Matt's best friend. They have been friends since law school, possibly even before that, so you knew that this was one of the worst things that you could do to Daredevil. So when Bullseye shows his face and comes out of the shadows, I was high anxiety. Bullseye has to be one of the scariest villains out there because this guy cannot miss. If he wants to get you, he's going to get you, and there's almost nothing you can do to avoid it. And how terrifying is that? He hits his mark almost every single time. That is just nightmare fuel. Fight scene between he and Daredevil was so well done. It felt urgent, it felt claustrophobic, you were completely concerned. Now I will say I did notice some CGI during this fight, and I think that kind of highlights the difference between Netflix and Disney, because mostly I think for the Netflix series, most of those fight scenes, they seemed like it was real people, practical effects, but Disney really wants to give us that comic book accurate Daredevil, and since Charlie Cox is not really a superhuman, that's gonna involve some CGI. I'm not really against CGI being used, I just hope that it's used more sparingly. I don't really want to see it too much. But that being said, that fight was so well done that I was willing to forgive any CGI that I saw. So yeah, there is no more Nelson or Murdock. Isn't that just a tragedy? And Matt and Karen appear to have drifted apart. She moved across the country to California, so how much she's going to be in the show is really kind of a toss-up. Really hoping it's not just a cameo, but with her being written to be across the country, it sure could be. And Matt's not the only one whose life is radically different now. Wilson Fisk, who is now fully healed apart from some scars, is planning on running for mayor of New York City, which is something that Matt clearly has immediate reservations about. These two have quite the history. Matt knows exactly the dark stuff that Wilson Fisk is capable of doing, and he's thinking there's no way you are going to do this on the up and up, and I'm going to be monitoring you. That scene between Matt and Wilson in the coffee shop or the diner or whatever that place was, well, that was a very powerful and awesome scene, and it really reminded me of the scene with Pacino and De Niro in the movie Heat. And you can really tell that these two are just so happy to be sharing the screen together again. There is clearly a friendship going on between these two actors, and you can even get hints of something of a friendship between these two people. Maybe friendship is not the correct word, but there is a mutual respect, a slight understanding of you're gonna do the kind of things that you're gonna do, and I'm gonna do the kind of things that I'm gonna do, and we may be able to coincide, but if you start crossing into the wrong line, I'm going to be there to stop you. And wouldn't you know it, this is now the second time I have watched a criminal get elected to high office. It feels pretty on the nose, I'm not gonna lie, and Matt's shock that the people of New York City actually voted for this guy despite the rumors about his criminal past, well, I think that there's a lot of people out there in this country that felt very similar emotions when the real Kingpin got elected. But the best part of this whole Fisk getting elected to be the mayor of New York City thing is this haunting and beautiful closing shot from episode 1. I mean, this shot, the two men, it looks like they're looking at each other, but I don't think they are. It was a very powerful shot. You could see glimpses of red on Matt, which is of course symbolizing him returning to being Daredevil. And there was even moments of shadow going across the face for Wilson, which I was taking to mean that there is still a darkness in him. And man, the song that is playing during this scene, well, I can say I've already been listening to it on repeat. It just accompanies this scene so well. It was just haunting, brilliant, and just fucking awesome. Matt's extremely worried about what Wilson is going to be up to because now that Wilson has been elected to mayor of the city, he has a lot of legal power, possibly more power than he ever had when he was running his criminal empire as the Kingpin, because now he's got people with the law in his pocket. Again, it's kind of on the nose. Episode 2 shows us another vigilante in the form of White Tiger, and one thing I thought was really cool about this was that they are not shying away from the fact that this guy gets his powers by wearing an amulet. That's something that I feel like the Netflix Daredevil series never would have tackled. Everything in that series was very grounded, very kept in real life. There was no magical amulets in that series at all, and yet here we are, there's a magical amulet. But I was really surprised by Matt's attitude towards this guy being a vigilante. He literally outs the guy to the police and tells the police about his secret identity, and I'm like, damn, man, nobody did that to you. But I guess this is part of Matt's new turn. He's trying to take a more conventional approach to the law. He's no longer interested in seeing vigilantism out there on the streets. But damn, man, that was brutal. And it's pretty clear you're gonna be putting that suit on eventually, so you're just a hypocrite. Charlie Cox does so well in this series, just like he did in the original Netflix series. There's a reason that fans fell so in love with this interpretation of the character. Matt in this series is clearly weighed down from his past actions as Daredevil, and also the devastating loss of his best friend Foggy. And that fight with Bullseye not only took away someone that matters so much to Matt, but it also brought something out in Matt that he didn't even know existed. Because after Foggy got killed and finally died, he threw Bullseye right off the roof. So he crossed a line, he crossed a big line. He attempted to murder somebody, and that's something that has to totally change Matt as a person. Who can really blame him though? If somebody killed somebody that you loved, I bet you we would all be capable of crossing that line. And what's fascinating about Matt as a character is that you know, no matter how much he can appear to be doing well, that deep down inside, he's not going to be able to change those stripes. Matt is a hero. He's somebody who sees that the law has its shortcomings. There are times where bad people get away with things, and that is where Daredevil is needed. And so he will be putting on that suit, and hopefully it's pretty soon. Because as much as I am loving the tone of the show, I do like that they are showing more of the legal aspect. I think that's a part of Matt's character that is super important and well worth diving into, but let's be honest, I want to see that red suit back on the screen as soon as possible. So what did you guys think of these first 2 episodes? I thought it was fucking amazing. I loved it. I was so pulled in. I am so excited. I watched both those episodes right away, and I'm already thinking about rewatching them. I tend to watch shows more than once because I like to pick up new things, but I want to watch this one maybe a couple more times because I was just so in love. Like I said, I really loved the Netflix show. I was truly bummed out when they canceled it. Now seeing that they're finally giving these actors and these characters the treatment that they deserve, they're finally being included in the official MCU, they're being treated with the respect and dignity that they should have gotten the entire time, well, it just makes me so excited for the future. And I'm absolutely grateful that Kevin Feige recognized just how much people connected to these characters and decided to bring back this cast. Even if it was just to kill one of our favorite characters in the first episode. I mean, that is kind of like a giant middle finger to the Netflix series, but I'll give it a pass because the story that has been accompanying this event so far has been rock solid, and I know it's going to push Matt forward as a character. What are your thoughts on these first 2 episodes in the comments? I'm looking forward to seeing some of the fan interaction. It's just gonna be super awesome to see all the Marvel fans hopefully agreeing that this series is rock solid and Marvel is back. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, and if you want to hear more things from me, subscribe to this channel. Later.